Okay, it's day 66 of our 1 hour day workout. This almost didn't happen today. I was sleeping all day. When you're on that liquid diet, it make you, I guess you're taking in less protein and your body be more sleepy or something. And I was moving old heavy computers, desktop computers around today. My body is achy. Anyway, the clock is ticking. Let's get this show on the road. What are we talking about today? Shoot, a guy got shot because the dog walker for Lady Gaga, ain't that crazy? They wanted to steal the dogs. And they only got away with 2, or he had 3. They got 2. That's crazy. So the streets is crazy right now.
Hey, Grandma.
What? I thought it was just in hip hop, but it's just like all over.
Tell them the story about you body slammed a girl, a little girl.
Oh, about body slamming a girl. My granddaughter with the Q and A's. I guess come on, show your face with your hair not done. Cause they got to place the face with the voice in the background. The voice in the background. Wow, girl is asking, cause I just got finished telling her a story about when my daughter was in elementary school. So my daughter was in elementary school. And I was working construction. I was a flag girl right across the street from the school. And it was a big commotion after school, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm working construction right across the street on the corner, flagging directly across the street from the school. So, you know, when the school let out, I see my daughter gonna go ahead home. I'm gonna wave at my daughter and she just gonna go ahead on upstairs because, you know, I get off in a little while, but, you know, she getting out of school first, you know. So this day, I'm on the corner talking with some construction buddies on a construction site. And a big commotion come out the elementary school. And it was a big fight going on, and it was my daughter. She was getting jumped by 2 sisters. I quickly ran over there and took the older sister, and I grabbed her off of my daughter, and I body slammed her down on the floor.
And you fell on the floor and got bruised.
Yeah, in the process of body slamming her, I fell to my knees, because, you know, that was some years back, but I was still getting older, because if I'm 55 now, you know what I'm saying, say that was more than 15 years ago, so I might have been 35 or something like that, or, you know, 40, but I was still getting older. I still wasn't a young kid, you know what I'm saying? So when I grabbed her off of my daughter, I kind of like tried to handle her, but, you know, we both fell to the ground, and my knees, you know, I scraped my knees. So when the school get involved, they try to call the police on me that asking the girl if she hurt, right? But the 2 girls, they was in the blood gang. Because the blood gang, I was living in South Bronx, the blood gang had came to the neighborhood. It was so rampant that the kids thought that was some kind of fun toy thing to be involved with. So every little kid, they had every little baby in red in the strollers, all the little, you know, the kids in elementary school, a lot of them was blood gang members and stuff. So the 2 sisters was blood gang too, and all these little kids was running around and stuff like that because they had planned, you know, after school to jump my daughter. You know, the one little girl was in my daughter's class, right? But then she had an older sister, you know what I'm saying? And my daughter, even though she was a cute little, you know, a cute, pretty little girl, she had a serious attitude about her, you know what I'm saying? So she would take on any challenge, even though she was by herself. She don't have no brothers or sisters, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they let out of school that day. It was a big commotion, and it was my daughter getting jumped. Imagine if it was your daughter getting jumped. You know what I'm saying? My daughter was getting jumped. I mean, and you're not supposed to put your hands on nobody, kids or anything like that. But if you go outside and you see them jumping your child, I'm quite sure you're going to try to snatch some kids up. So that's what I try to do, basically snatch them off of my daughter, mainly the older one first. And so when the principal and them came out there, they was asking the older sister, you know, well, what happened? And yeah, and she was all upset and saying that I put my hands on her and stuff like that. So they was like, well, let me see where you bruised at, and we'll call the police. And they was gonna send me to jail, right? But the little girl didn't have no bruise on her. My knees was all scraped up because when I pulled her off my daughter and we hit the floor, her body went down to the floor, but my knees hit the ground, you know? So it was kind of like I did like a body slam on her. I don't mean to hurt nobody, kids or nothing like that, but they was jumping my daughter, you know? And, you know, my daughter ain't no hard fighting little girl. She just had like an attitude, like she willing to take on a challenge, but she didn't have no like boxing skills, or she wasn't like no fighter like that, you know. They little kids, you know. They wasn't even in, I think the older sister was in the 5th grade and my daughter probably was like in the 3rd or 4th grade, you know. So I was telling, you know, my granddaughter, you know, about it, because she's very inquisitive about different things and stuff like that, you know, you know, what's going on with her to what happened when her mother was a child. But yeah, that blood gang came to my neighborhood, and it's, you know, you have your regular shits where, you know, little boys pick on little girls. One day I came to the school about something to see the teacher or something about some paperwork or something like that. Don't move the camera. For my daughter. And I seen my daughter walking down the hall. Her face was squinched up and she was, you know, pouting, and her lips was down, and she had her eyes was caked up with you know, that dry eye shit. And I was like, straighten your face up, clean your eyes out. What's wrong with you? You know? Yeah. I was like, you walking around angry and upset at school. What's going on with you? And come to find out, 5 boys in her class had been picking on her, but they wouldn't hit her in her face or nothing like that. They was like kicking her under the table on her legs and punching her legs and stuff like that. So I never really seen a scar when she was coming home. And she had a black teacher. When I approached the teacher about it, you know, the teachers is like, well, you know, not really caring, and, you know, want me to handle things in the street with a gang. I'm not a part of no gang. I don't get down like that. You know what I'm saying? And my child know I don't get down with no gang activity and stuff like that. But this school here is supposed to protect, you know, the kids. If the kids is acting in a gang activity or harassing another kid or bullying another kid, you're supposed to straighten that kid out. You know what I'm saying? Not let my child just sit there and be harassed. And this was going on for days and weeks and stuff like that. until I came to the school and I had to snatch the boys up. I ran up in the lunchroom and caught one of the little boys in the lunchroom and grabbed him by his collar and shook him because I was so upset. Like, you got my daughter upset every day at school, and then she used to come home and have an attitude, and I used to be like, what's wrong with you? You just got an attitude coming home every day? Like, I didn't know what was wrong with my daughter. Like,
so you grabbed the boy like this?
Yeah, come over here. I grabbed the boy like this. Come on. Move your hair. Let me grab you up. I grabbed that boy up. I was like, if you mess with my daughter again, I'm up. You hear me, little boy? You hear me? And y'all people scared. I scared the shit out of them. So the ringleader, I got the ringleader in front of all the other little boys at the lunch table, and he tried to ignore me and suck his teeth and act all, and I grabbed him by his shirt and I picked him up out of that chair off that lunch table, and I shook him. And them teachers was running over, and them lunch people was running over to me. I was like, this is the little boy right here that he keep picking on my daughter.
So you was grabbing him up?
I'm going to kill you, you hear me? I was shaking his ass up, you know what I'm saying?
So what was you doing while saying that?
Yeah, I was ready for him to make any kind of move, and I was gonna slam that boy on his head because I was very upset. And the school know that they was wrong too. So they invited me into a big staff meeting, and they was about to bring me up on some kind of charges or something like that, but they changed their mind. And the reason why the school changed their mind is because what the schools be doing in the South Bronx is that they be abiding by gang activity. So that means that the principal or some of the teachers is in a household that's involved with gang activity. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, they was gonna bring me up on charges, but they would have had some questions to answer too. Why is you letting these kids be bullied? Why is you letting the gang activity run rampant in your school and letting the other kids be picked on? Why don't you get this under control? They wasn't getting it under control because it was their boyfriends, husbands and all of that stuff, and they was involved, and they kids and stuff involved with that blood gang, and either that or they were just scared of the blood gang, you know, because they came to the neighborhood in the 90s, and you know, they was basically new, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people didn't want to get involved, you know, didn't want to have no static with them because they didn't know what they was going to get, because all we know is that all of the bad kids in the community had joined. It's like they didn't have no initiation. They were just automatically in the blood gang. You know what I'm saying? You know, the blood gang was just bombarded with every criminal, bad little kid and everything coming up. All the junkies and dope fiend parents, all the gun toters, all the drug dealers and everything, all that was the first thing that went into the blood gang. Not no, you know, college educated students where, you know, that they was giving positive speeches or anything like that. It was all negative, you know, scary, be scared, you know what I'm saying? We all clicked up together, you're going to have a problem type situation. And, you know what I'm saying, hey, black people need to get in a group and stick together and stuff like that. But if you're only going to bother your own people, then what's the use? You know what I'm saying? Because we're already in a situation, we're already in a poverty situation. So why is y'all going to bring a gang together to make the neighborhood more terrible? I could see if y'all go into a rich community and be Robin Hood and go get some riches and bring it back to the minority community.
Okay, that's going too deep.
She said I'm going too deep, but that's the extent of it. If you're gonna make a gang that a bunch of black people is gonna be involved with, and you're gonna terrorize black people, like it don't really make no sense to me. That's why I can't really get involved. If you was gonna make a gang and you know, you're gonna push to the council people, you know, what y'all need in y'all community, or you're gonna, you know, send letters to the mayor's office or to the president or to the White House or something like that. If you're gonna get together, you know, so that we could get some funding, we could get some community centers. Stop. You know, if you're gonna bring something together, bring something so that we can get better, not that we could get worse. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, my family come from construction organization where, you know, even though we seemed like we was a gang clique together, it was actually a construction organization that helped minorities get on jobs. So me, I was always about something that had to be being done positive for the community, because I come from a family that was helping people get jobs. You understand what I'm saying? So if your gang didn't have a positive avenue, it had no place for me. You know, it just looked like trouble, because they automatically wore red when they first came to New York. Well, I don't know when they first came, because I hear that the Bloods was here already in the 80s. But it didn't really hit my neighborhood strong until like the 90s, right? And I was living in the South Bronx. And everybody was wearing these red raggedy clothes, and their pants was dragging on the floor, and anything that red that they could find to put on, they was just putting on. They just looked at like ugly red bums. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever they could find. Like I'm talking about when they first started. Like after a while, you know, they start dressing fly and different, and you know, buying different outfits. But when they first came, it's like the people told them, hey, we the blood gang, everybody's supposed to wear red. So they just went in their closet and found any red sweatpants or red sweatshirts, and it was like raggedy shit, you know what I'm saying? And they used to be, because I had opened up a business, a storefront, and I had opened up my cleaning business, and they were just running around like raggedy red bums and stuff, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is this? You know, because, and I was asked to be involved too, but I said no, because it looked like they was, first of all, too easily identifiable. And I was applying for small business loans at the time. I was already a grown adult, you know, with a child, and I had a clean background. I already stopped hanging out in the street. I already stopped my street running days, and I came out with a clean background, so I didn't really need, you know what I'm saying? I didn't need to get back, you know, involved with nothing with the streets and mess up my criminal background, you know what I'm saying? Because my criminal background was good. I went to work for traffic later on in life. Right now, I got my real estate license. You can't have no felonies. I'm going for my mortgage license. You know, you can't have no felonies for certain licenses and stuff. And you can't even get a apartment in the projects with a felony. You know what I'm saying? So niggas that be going to jail and being like, yeah, I did my jail bid and stuff like that. All you telling me is that there's a lot of jobs that you can't get, and there's housing you can't apply for. They don't want the felonies in there. Unless you already had your apartment first. If you already had your apartment, and then, you know, I know of guys that did bids and they held their apartments until they came home, you know, which I think is crazy too. But if you already have your apartment, then I think it's harder for them to evict you. But if you never had an apartment and you come out of jail with a felony, I don't even think you could apply for the projects, you know? So you're gonna have to get yourself together, you know, real good, where you're gonna be paying high rent or you're gonna be paying a mortgage. You're gonna, you know, get you some money, you know what I'm saying? That's why I think niggas be like dissing, you know, women that got project apartments, because, you know, they ain't got one, you know what I'm saying? Or they can't get one, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, they found a woman that got a house, a lady that got a house, and there's a lot of women out here that need men, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they alone, or, you know, they were married once and their kids is getting big and their husbands left them, or they got into a divorce or whatever the situation is, and, you know, there's a lot of lonely black women, you know what I'm saying, that need a man. So even if you don't have a job, you could be a nigga off the street that, you know, that's homeless, that basically ain't got your own apartment, living pillow to post. Long as you had a decent upbringing, like, you know, your manners, and you was raised correctly by, you know how we was raised back in the days and stuff like that. You know your chores, you know how to keep house clean, you know your manners, you know how to, you know, be respectful and respect your elders and stuff like that. You know, the basic stuff. And, you know, you got the mere education, a black woman to take you in. You know, mainly if you clean house, or you have a skill or a trade or something like that, you know. All you really got to do, if she working, all you really have to do is be a decent gentleman, show that you're a decent gentleman that keep the house clean, and, you know, you have some minor cooking skills and stuff like that. A woman to take you in, and you don't have no, like, bad, nasty attitude where, you know, you beating her ass all the time, you know what I'm saying? You're a decent person that was raised decently. There's a lot of lonely women that have houses, that's in houses by themselves, that, you know, these niggas know if they be correct, they could just move in a woman's house, you know. And I'm not talking about an apartment, I'm talking about a woman with a house, you know what I'm saying? And then there's a lot of women, you know, in regular apartments and project apartments that, you know, that they lonely, and, you know, they need a man, and they would like a decent man to come in their house. But these niggas are so geared towards being gangsters and selling drugs and stuff like that. You don't want those problems in your house, because, you know, if your household get caught for selling drugs out of it, and you knew that you had somebody living in your house selling drugs, you get evicted, you lose your apartment. And when it come down to the projects, you could have your apartment forever, you know what I'm saying? And you could have your cheap rent apartment forever, as long as you ain't selling no drugs, you know? And as long as you don't hurt somebody else here, you know? You know, if you have a son in the house, a grown son, and he's too much of a problem to the neighbors and stuff like that, then they'll have you going to housing, like a court settings, procedures, and if you don't show up there, they will evict you, you know what I'm saying? If you have a grown son that's involved in criminal activity and stuff like that, like they locking all of these kids up for being in the street gang and being and locking them up for the RICO law and conspiracy and all of that stuff like that, I'm quite sure their parents is going through a whole lot of shit to keep their apartment, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these parents, they know what their sons is into. They just be so happy to get them out of their house. They don't care what they outside doing, you know? I had only one lady that tell me, yeah, I got my sons, and my sons try to hang out outside with the rest of the guys, and I came out with my little plastic bat and started hitting them upside their head and sending them back upstairs. And that was the right thing to do, because when all the other guys got locked up, when the feds started, you know, secretly recording them standing outside and tapping their phones and stuff, you know, then her sons wouldn't be one of the ones, you know. Like some of the parents were saying, oh, my sons was just hanging outside. They wasn't a part of the gang. But if you was hanging too close to them, you know what I'm saying? Birds of a feather flock together. And if you're hanging too close to them and making them look more fuller than what they are, then you making yourself a part of that gang, because, you know.
Hey, Grandma.
What?
What if I had another... What if I had a sister? How would you treat us?
I would be treating y'all like y'all too many people. If you had a twin?
Not like a twin, like a little one.
If you had a little sister, you'd probably be home. If your mother have a kid right now, whether it's a boy or a girl, you going home with your brother or your sister and keeping them company, because y'all not coming over here. She not going to just keep on making babies and send them over to my house.
Maybe not always at your house. Maybe we can visit sometime.
Yeah, if your mother have another child, then you probably be spending more of your time at home, because, you know, right now she still be trying to be into her modeling and her rapping career and stuff, but she knows if she have a second child, that's going to be it. She could take all her kids and go head home and start turning into the old lady, you know what I'm saying? Because she not going to send a whole bunch of kids over here to me, to grandma's house. Because grandma trying to get her weight down and trying to get her shit together, you know? But yeah, so what was I talking about? Yeah, back when my daughter was small is when, you know, the gangs, the blood gang came into, I was living down 180th Street by the Black Falcons motorcycle gang. And so you had the Black Falcons down there on 180th. This is in the Bronx in New York for whoever was watching, but you had the Black Falcons, you had the Chinglings, then the Bloods started developing. So every gang, then the Mexicans came and they opened up a restaurant and they were shooting back and forth and having beef with the Black Falcons, and different, you know, different gangs was having beef with each other and shooting at each other. So it was about 5 gangs in the neighborhood. And then you had the Crips, but the Blood was bigger. But some people was the Crips, and I'm not sure who they was, but they wasn't as big as the Bloods was, you know. And then you had the Spanish gang, what you call it? Is it the Nietas or the, I forgot what you called the Spanish ones. Yeah, you had everything on 180th Street. 180th Street, I lived on 181st Street in Monterey projects, and everything was in that neighborhood. Every gang that you could think of was in that neighborhood. And so it was, all the drug selling and all of that stuff like that. So you could really, like, get caught up, you know. And I had a lot of problems because I wasn't trying to be caught up, you know. I wasn't trying to be, you know, even though I may drink every once in a while, I may get a bottle and bring it upstairs to my house to, you know, chill out for the weekend. I wouldn't go outside and hang out and get drunk and do all of that stuff like that, because I put my days behind me in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? In 89, I think, around 89, because I got pregnant with my daughter. It was around 1990. Once I got pregnant with my daughter, that was it for the streets, you know. Yeah, I still come outside and I was moving around, but I was doing business at that time. I opened up a business, a cleaning business, and whatchamacallit. You know, I was trying to get business loans, and, you know, your background have to be clean. They want all your back records and all kind of stuff, all your tax records and stuff, and you can't be a felony. Certain things, there's certain criterias that, you know, if you want to advance in life, that you know, your stuff have to be straight. And even my credit wasn't even that bad. You know, they gave me a business loan. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, while everybody else was on gang time, I was trying to get my life together and advance in life, you know. But when they seen me do that, they was like, they started fighting against my, you know, she trying to be somebody. She trying to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? They started fighting against it, you know. They started, you know, trapping me so that, you know, like talking to the people that I was connecting with, and the construction sites and the organizations that I was, you know, that was helping me, you know. They start talking to them to make sure that, you know, stop giving her jobs. She's blowing up. She's opening up storefronts. Look at her big awning up there. And the store that I had was a shack, you know what I'm saying? I had to go in there and put most of my money into fixing up the inside of the store. I had to lay the floors down, put sheetrock walls up. They had to fix the ceiling, had a leak, and I still didn't finish like the outside of the store. The front of the store needed bricks. They had some old panel, old dirty looking panels. So the shit that they was jealous of wasn't even nothing, you know? They just thought that once you get a storefront that you gonna be rich. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she about to be rich. Like, even the kids in my family was like, oh, you rich? You had the store, you was about to be rich. No, I had the store, I had a big overhead. Because I usually do my business from home. So once I had the store, it was like I couldn't handle it. I was getting poorer. I was getting broker. And then the people that was giving me jobs and the contractors that I was usually working for started giving contracts to other people, you know. They stopped giving me work, you know. When they saw me, you know, a black woman getting too big for her britches, opening up storefronts and stuff, all of a sudden the contracts had stopped. I wasn't getting the contracts no more, you know. And then they started wanting to undercut me, like, you know, want me to take the jobs for less, you know, instead of more. Like I was saying, well, since I got the storefront and I got this overhead now, I'm gonna have to start charging them more. And then it came down that the contractors wanted to pay me less. I'm telling them, well, I got a storefront now, you know, I got bills now. I got, you know, y'all got to pay me more. You know, I was giving y'all a break when I was working from home. And they was like, nah, we want you to work for less now. I was like, oh, God, I could have stayed in my living room. I could have kept the business in my living room. I thought I was going to open up the storefront and get more business, but I got less business. And I thought I was going to get bigger contracts, but the contractors wanted to pay me less. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got paranoid when I opened up the store. You know? And they gave me like a real problem. And then the little gang kids, the little blood kids start running around every time I had these big windows to my storefront. And every time you look out the window, they running around the block. They started throwing matches in my garbage can, was right next to the door, so they run by and throw fire in my garbage, and you know, I guess it was blowing out naturally by itself until eventually one of the matches caught fire and caused a fire to my garbage can, you know. But since I didn't have like much in the front of my store, I was able to put it out, but then my whole place smelled like smoke, you know. You know, I didn't even need to call the fire department because I was able to put the little fire out. But you see what they were doing, you know. And then my daughter would go to school. I had put some games in there because the bus stop was right by my store. So in the front, since it was empty, I put games and pool tables. And my daughter would go to school, and she overheard them saying, she come home and tell me that they said, don't go in Miss Davis' store. That's me. Don't go in Miss Davis's store. You know, so everything was against me. I was up against hell. Then when I would close my store in the evening, at nighttime, sometime I would stay in there late, and I closed the store. You know, the blood gang and the niggas on the corner be standing there at the corner. You know, I gotta be scared to come this way, then I go around the other way, the long way. You know what I'm saying? Once they notice I'm going around the other way, they start hanging out on the other side. You know what I'm saying? If I start coming out and going around this way to get, because I opened up the store right around the corner from my house, which was a bad decision. But you know, they used to be waiting for me to close up, and it used to be like a threat, you know? Like they wanted to hurt me for having a store, you know? Like, you know, for trying to, you know, have something. You know, we just make it harder on ourselves. That's basically it. And the same thing with the rappers and stuff. You know, you the hip hop industry. Why would you make? Okay, so you start out by saying, well, we keeping it real. You wanna be real, because a lot of niggas used to talk shit in their raps and it wasn't really real. You know what I'm saying? You know, even me, when I used to make up songs and I used to just make up stuff that rhymed together and make up stuff to make me sound tough, and then the niggas started keeping it like real, you know, because you know, you start writing like it's a drama play or like it's a comedy or something like that, and you just start writing like it's art. You know, that's how we used to write. And then niggas started calling other niggas out for lying in their raps and stuff like that, and they not really real and stuff like that. So, you know, all the niggas that wasn't really about the street life, they had to back off, you know, or either start, you know, thugging it out, you know. And then when the blood gang came and stuff like that, you know, the industry started conforming with the gangs, you know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, well, you know, this not giving everybody a fair shot at, you know, becoming a artist. You know, if we have gangs dominating the hip hop industry, then how is the regular folks that don't want to be in the gang, how they gonna make it? You know, say if, you know, I was trying to be an artist, but I'm coming by myself. You know what I'm saying? I can't make it because everybody else that's coming with gangs. They coming with 10 and 20 people, you know what I'm saying? So we just basically make it hard for ourselves, you know, and we don't support each other businesses and stuff. And, you know, when I talk, I like to talk from experience, and that's why I talk about the store that I had opened up and, you know, the troubles that I had. I didn't have support, and I had the Black Falcons right across the street from me. They was on, what was that, 180th Street, and my store was on 3rd Avenue, like right around the corner. And you would think that, you know, okay, with a big black gang, motorcycle gang right around the corner, I should have, you know, backup and support. But it was the opposite way around. You know, I couldn't walk past the Black Falcons thing. When I walked past there, niggas was rolling their eyes and looking hard at me. Then when I get past the corner grocery store, the little gang niggas be looking me up and down and, you know, wanting to jump on me and stuff, you know, because I'm just trying to make it, you know. And then I'm not fucking with no niggas where they could get in their ear, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't, you know, I had my little cleaning crew that used to come through to get paid, but I didn't have no nigga where, you know, he's having sex with me or he's living with me where, you know, they could get in his ear and you know, he could destroy everything, you know. For some reason, black guys like to destroy. When a black woman is getting herself together, they usually try to get connected to somebody she know to just to destroy everything that she's about, you know. So it be vice versa. When I see a nigga got a store or something like that, you know, I don't even go in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't go in it. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't doing nothing but hurting each other. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't let my store survive. So I'm not going to support no other nigga's store. You know what I'm saying? They didn't support mine, you know. They teamed up to make sure that my shit wasn't making it. So, you know, I don't bother with black businesses either, because, you know, they didn't bother with my... You would think that I'm a white girl or something, or another nationality.
You're black.
I'm black, that's right. And I can't mess with nobody, no black person business, because they don't mess with mine. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was trying to make it, they didn't help mine. So, shoot, like there's a guy, he opened up a soul food restaurant right on the corner. And even though he speak to me pleasantly and, you know, I wave and stuff like that when I see him on the corner, but I never ate out of his store. I never ate out of his store. You know what I'm saying? I'll skip down and go to other stores and go let the other people make me sandwiches and salads and stuff like that. But I would not go into the soul food restaurant store because I got something on my mind what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm disturbed by what niggas did to me. So I don't mess with niggas too heavy either when it come down to that. You know what I'm saying? When I was trying to be successful in my business, they put the word through the grapevine, through the streets and stuff to you know, not support me. And when they found out who was hooking me up, the Spanish guy at the organization that was hooking me up with the jobs and stuff like that, they went over there and they was like talking to him and telling him, look what you doing, look what you giving her. She's blowing up and stuff like that. Why you giving her that stuff? You know what I'm saying? But I really actually was not blowing up. I took a loan, a small business loan that I had to pay back the loan. I had to pay back over $1,000 for the loan a month. Then I had about over $1,500 in rent. I had to pay the electricity, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even getting no jobs no more, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't even getting no jobs. They stopped my contracts. You know, word got out that I was, you know, trying to blow up, you know. But when I was walking around in the streets with my briefcase, they was laughing at me like, oh, look at her. Her office is her briefcase, and she working out of her briefcase. You know what I'm saying? So for a little while, they was laughing at me. And then when I opened up the store, and they seen like, oh, shoot, that briefcase turned into a whole storefront, because in that briefcase, you know, I had all my contracts, and I had my tax papers, and everything was right. And I was running around giving the Small Business Administration all the paperwork that they was asking for. That's what that briefcase was about. And all the contracts that I did, it looked like, you know, I was turning revenue. I wasn't turning that much revenue, but, you know, they have to give small businesses an opportunity. So while they're giving all of those big businesses loans and stuff like that, a certain portion of loans have to go to minorities. So that's where I fit in at, you know. So all the way back in '97, you know what I'm saying, I had got a small business loan. And the Bloods was brewing up at that time. I was opening up a storefront, and the Bloods was brewing. You know, the gang was brewing up. That was going to be destructive to the community. And I was like, that's going to be my problem right there, because I'm not going to get down with that stuff, because I already did my hanging out in the street. I already got away with all the dirt that I was going to get away with. And I came out of the streets with no criminal background. I came out with, I didn't do no bid, I didn't do no felony, I didn't have no misdemeanors or nothing like that, you know? So I was already finished with the hanging out in the streets. I had my daughter, I was gonna raise my daughter, and then I was gonna, you know, because my family used to do cleaning, my sister used to do cleaning business and stuff like that. I said I could do that for a business, you know, even though she wasn't dealing with construction and stuff no more. I said I could, you know, I think I could run a cleaning business, so that's what I did. Not that that's what I liked it to do, you know what I'm saying, because all of that cleaning them shitty toilets and, you know, it's the post-construction, so it's the after all the skilled trade guys got finished with the, you know, building of the building and finished with the apartments. You come in and you clean up so the people can move in. And them tubs and them toilets used to be shitty. They used to be shitting all around in the bathrooms, and, you know, all the toilets used to be clogged up. So you constantly dealing with shitty toilets, you know. I couldn't do that business today, you know. Back then I had the energy, you know. But my back is too bad because, whatchamacallit, I used to have a crew, but sometimes my crew used to back out on me too, because most of them knew each other or they was related. So when one person catch an attitude and be like they not coming to work, you know, the whole crew don't come to work, and I be on the job by myself getting that job done because I signed a contract. See, once you sign a contract, you have to honor the contract, because if word get out in the industry that you're not honoring the contracts, nobody else is going to give you a contract. You're not going to get no more contracts. So whenever you get into a contract to do cleaning or any contract out here, you need to know what you're getting into. Just like with the, you know, the rappers in the hip hop and stuff, in the music industry, you got to know what you're getting into, because you want to satisfy your contract. You want it to be something that you could deal with, and you want to satisfy it because you don't want your name to be a bad name where nobody else don't want to sign you to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because if one label say that, you know, oh, you didn't honor your contract, then nobody else is going to want to sign you to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes even if I just broke even or took a little loss, I would still honor my contracts. You know what I'm saying? So when I first started my cleaning business, you know, I fell short. I not fell short, but I broke even, you know. I thought I could clean up those apartments for $50 each, and by the time I paid my workers, I didn't have no money left. You need to have some kind of profit left over, else you done did the whole job for the contractor and supervised the crew and everything, and you didn't come out with nothing. So after that, I wouldn't do no more apartments for $50. It would be $100 and better, you know. And then when I had opened up my storefront, contractors started calling me to do the apartments for $50 again. Like, I already know that I'm not gonna make no profit for $50. And they just started calling me, telling me they wanted me, you know. And I had the storefront, so I had to negotiate. So I was like, I'll do it for $75, you know. And they was like, no, we want you to do it for $50. No, then I'm not gonna be able to make no money. I'm already experienced. My first job, I did it for $50 a unit. I'm not gonna be able to, you know, make a profit, and I got the storefront, I got the overhead, you know. So yeah, that's a little bit what I wanted to talk about today is, you know, rappers getting caught, you know. I just seen one of the rappers got caught with like 5 guns in the car or something like that, right? There's so many rappers that I can't even remember everybody's name, but he was in a bulletproof car, and he got pulled over by the police for his windows being too tinted, and they was telling him to roll down the windows, but he couldn't because he said his car was bulletproof. I think he was from Texas, and whatchamacallit, they found about 5 or 6 guns in the car. So you see, as a rapper, if y'all gonna keep it real and everything gotta be real and all the gangster shit that you talk about gotta be real, now, you know, you causing yourself a problem, because now you're trying to get ahead in life, right? You're trying to get out the streets, you know, because if you're trying to become a rapper, to me, it's like you're trying to get out the streets, you're trying to blow up, you're trying to get money, you know what I'm saying, and you're trying to live a higher life. You're trying to live, you know, have a better life, basically, and get money, you know what I'm saying? But if you bring the streets, into the music industry, now when you come to the music industry, you come into the streets, you know? You're not coming to like a job or a contract where, you know, okay, I gotta go around to so many clubs and I gotta, you know, perform so many songs and satisfy, you know, and make my money, satisfy the record labels and make records and make albums and stuff. You got to make records. You got to be a singing gangster. You got to be a rapping ass gangster. You know what I'm saying? Which wasn't really heard of back in the days. If you was a gangster, you know, you wasn't a singer. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I was growing up, gangsters wasn't singers. You know, gangsters wasn't like yodeling no tunes or nothing, you know. Yeah, the rapping came along, and you know, niggas is rapping and stuff like that, but you know, these days it's just got so terrible. You better off doing something else. You better off working a regular job, cause you know, as soon as somebody in your neighborhood see, oh, she rap good or he rap good, you know what I'm saying? She have a possibility of making it in the rap industry, they're gonna cause you a problem. They're gonna cause you a problem before you make it out, you know what I'm saying? That's how bad we do each other. We don't even let each other make it. We see that it might be a possibility, and we start getting in your way. You know what I'm saying? Like they seen me open up that storefront, and then they started, you know, oh, it looked like she could, you know, blow up because she got a storefront. You know what I'm saying? And they thought, but actually I was in there struggling, you know. I needed help. I needed support from my community. And I had a Spanish guy come to me and he said, you know what? He said, they're going to regret this. He said, you're a black woman and you opened up a storefront in a community and stuff like that. And, you know, they out here and they being negative and talking against you. The Spanish guy told me this. That he used to be hanging out in a store next door to me, right? And supporting his Spanish friend that had a store. And he came to me to let me know that they're gonna regret. They're gonna regret not supporting me. You know, because I was, you know, one of the onlyest black businesses. You know, you had the Black Falcons, but they was a whole big motorcycle gang, a whole bunch of people in one little club. Me, I had a nice size storefront, and I was, you know, by myself. And I used to have like maybe a friend or two that used to come in the community and come in here to talk to me, but you know, they wasn't doing business. They, you know, I used to have people that come to chat, you know. What?
You should let people do a Q&A. You should let commenters comment.
I always tell people, you know, like, subscribe, and comment.
Like,
yeah.
Question.
People don't send me no when you're a bigger YouTuber, they my granddaughter is saying that I should let people do a Q&A. Like, asking me questions and I answer, but ain't nobody asking me no questions.
I can make people ask.
And this is not live. This is pre-recorded. So when we start doing lives and stuff on a regular basis, then they could ask questions right up. They could post a question right up in the comment section.
Yeah.
You know, while I'm live, they could post, you know, questions, but. Even on my pre-recorded, nobody really asks me questions. A lot of YouTubers, people be sending them stories like, do this story, do that story, but nobody don't be sending me no stories to do. So I just talk about what I know. You know what I'm saying? What I talk about, I don't even have to research. Like today, I didn't even know what I was going to talk about today.
You should talk about yourself and sprout your feelings.
That's what I was talking about today with experience.
Oh.
What we started out talking about, how when Sade was in school, when my daughter was in school,
Yeah.
and you know, the blood gang came to the neighborhood and they were just
well, like
clicking up from little kids, you
I'm
know.
talking about your personal
My own personality.
Yeah.
I don't know. My personality is I'm an older person. You know, I don't hide my age from people because I'm proud of my age. I'm proud to, you know, this summer, like I said, I'll be 55. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud to reach this age. And ain't nobody getting no younger. So, you know, if you in your 20s or something like that and you thinking, oh, 50 is old, I used to think the same way too. I used to think the same way too. And then next thing you know, 35 started creeping up on me. I was like, oh, Lord. 40 started creeping up on me. 45. I don't even know where my 40s went to. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Yeah. You don't be growing no younger, so, you know, the best thing you could do is listen to some old wise people and don't make the mistakes. That's why, you know, older people in your family be trying to tell you stories, not so that you could go out in the street and experience that same thing. It's so that you could skip over that stuff and head in the right directions. But a lot of our kids be like, oh, my aunt was a gangster in the street. I'm going to be a gangster and be like my aunt. Or my uncle was a gangster in the street and he was telling me about his stories of getting money. And so when they can't find themselves, the first thing they do is say, well, I'm going to sell drugs like my uncle. Or, you know, my OG, you know, used to be out there hustling and making a lot of money. I'm going to be like my OG. My OG used to tell me a whole lot of stories. But we're not telling you those stories so that you could go out there and mess up your life. You know, what you should be getting out of the story is the end result. Most of the people that sold drugs in the street end up in jail or dead, you know? The majority of the people. What?
We should talk about happy things that happen in your life.
My granddaughter said I should talk about happy things. You know, right now we living in the times where a lot of crazy stuff is going on. You know what I'm saying? She said I should be talking about happy stuff.
Well, happy stuff in the pandemic or the past?
This man just cut his neighbor's heart out, cut it up with potatoes, made it like a meal, and fed it to his family. Then he went and stabbed up his aunt and his uncle and killed them. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of craziness and stories that be coming out. So the best thing you could do right now is handle your business, and you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do for your household and stay out the streets. Because it's too much, you know, niggas is going crazy just for the idea that we're in a pandemic, just for the idea that we're living in a disaster time, you know?
Let me help you.
Niggas is bugging out.
Let me help you think of happy things.
My granddaughter said she want me to talk about happy things. But, you know, real life stuff is, you know, what people could relate to. Most people can't just relate to happy stuff, you know.
Not like some stuff that good things that happen in your life. Like you and Anna were together again?
No. Yeah, because it was a time when I told this story before when nobody was speaking to me. Everybody had turned against me. And I was asking God, I was like, why me? You know, why is this happening to me? I always consider myself a good person, you know what I'm saying? But like they say, people rather a pretty lie than the ugly truth. You know, the truth is the ugly thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm a type of person that always like to be truthful, you know what I'm saying? But then you have those other people that tell a lie all the time and have people laughing and they be joking and they be lying on people and they be funny, but the whole time they be destroying another person's reputation, you know what I'm saying? And then you have the people that come by and they be telling the truth, you know, and spurring out the truth, and the truth just hurt people. You know, if you tell somebody truthful about themselves or what you think about them or what's wrong with them or something like that, they be real hurt, you know what I'm saying? So my rhetoric be hurting people, you know what I'm saying? Because I just can't, you know, I just don't know how to lie, you know what I'm saying? Either I'm going to keep it to myself and I'm not going to tell you, or, you know, I'm going to try to speak the truth. But I'm not going to sit there and be lying on people and trying to make the crowd laugh and be, you know, because, you know, people be laughing and they be thinking shit is funny. But the comedian that be joking on another person and be putting down their reputation is really the evil person. You know, that person that be lying. But being that they get such a good laugh, they enjoy the pretty lie. You know what I'm saying? Stop. So that's my hours up. I'm out of here. Almost. This thing probably won't go up to the AM, because what time is it? Around 11? So it's probably not going to get up before 12, because I'm on my liquid diet. It's just making me so tired. You get on a liquid diet, you're not putting all them proteins in your body no more, so it makes you real sleepy. Hopefully that effect will go away, but I'm not trying to... I'm trying to be on this liquid diet and bring my weight down. So anyway, peace, y'all. I'm out.
Bye.
Okay, say bye.
Bye.
See ya.